The Cross of Light Diamond is a brand that we created in our family, the Abel family, in 2007, as a result of 40 years of experience working in a jewelry store, actually owning a jewelry store since 1977 in downtown Minneapolis off Nicollet Avenue. And my father, Arlen Abel, started that company, and he became very familiar with customers and clients and custom orders and engagement companies, but primarily it was a diamond company working with engagement couples and anniversary rings and special design pieces. So as he worked with these families and couples with their special jewelry, the common thread was always he wanted to give them something that was meaningful for them, that they could pass down as an heirloom, as a stone of remembrance, as a timeless jewelry piece that could carry a story for their family. So when he tried to retire in 2007, he came up with this idea of doing a cross in a diamond, because of a lot of our customers are Christian and they would use stones to represent their faith in one way or another. But this particular idea is really unique because it has the facets cut into the diamond that actually form a cross. And not just one cross, but 3 crosses. So we call them cruciform images put into the facets. So there's 16 extra facets on top of the traditional 57 facets of a brilliant diamond cut. So when we made this cut, we put it to the test because my dad was one of the first people to sell this machine that would test light performance on a diamond. And so we put it in there, and the bars were way to the top, and we put it alongside an ideal cut diamond and the most brilliant diamond brands out there, and it measured among the best. So we were thrilled to see that something that we created for meaning ended up also being among the most beautiful. So it's a very unique situation. I myself cut the gemstones, colored gemstones, synthetic and natural gemstones, into the cross of light. And with this gemstone idea, we can cut the cross so that it's actually visible through the crown, through the table of the gemstone right when you look at it. If it's more than maybe 6 millimeters, if it's too small, it's hard to see. But even though there are 3 cross images in it, the one, when I cut colored gemstones, I can make it so that you can see 1 cross, not all 3, but 1, because it gets too confusing. But with the diamond brand, the Cross of Light diamond brand, you are going to see the traditional viewer that people will put over a branded diamond to see the pattern in it. You will see that when you put it underneath the viewer in the stand, and then you look through the viewer, you will see all 3 crosses in it. So it looks like a traditional brilliant diamond. Nobody would ever know that the crosses are in there, but you know, and it also can never be switched out without your knowledge, because you'll always be able to see that cross of light in there. So it's very fascinating to see how symbolism really, it opens up the experience and the richness of the ceremony, of either a marriage ceremony or a baptism ceremony or quinceañera if they use mass, because the cross represents something so unique to the Christian tradition in symbolism. The cross doesn't need explanation. People see a cross, they know what it means. It's a representation of their faith and their belief in Christ. And the gemstone is such a perfect medium to reveal some major themes in in theology among Christians, such as that we start off rough. We start off as just a rough, I'm out there kind of thing out in the world, until the master stonecutter comes along, picks us up, finds us, and with all of our flaws and all of our opaqueness, he sees inside the gem that's really in there, and he takes us into his workshop, and he begins in our lives to sanctify us through the cutting process. And he cuts away the debris, he cuts away all the corners and the edges and the rough spots and the flaws, not too fast, but just in turn. And he continues to turn us and turn us and turn us, so that all the faces of our personality, all the faces of that rock are formed perfectly into a castle of many rooms, like Teresa of Avila said. So when the Master begins to get us into that process of yielding ourselves to His forming, His cutting us, if we can yield, He will finish by the end of our lives. And it's such a beautiful thing, because at the end of our lives, you know, He's perfected us, and He has since made a beautiful mirrored facet, polished to perfection to reflect the Father's glory in each and every facet, if we yield and if we allow Him to do each one. But you know, the light shines the brightest off the most highly perfected, polished facet, doesn't it? It shines the most brightly. So it is a work. We are all a work in progress, but we are definitely yielded to the Master's hand, and we will be a light to the world, and we will reflect His face. We will reflect His glory to people, and we will shine on people His goodness and His brightness. So when you look at the cross-like diamond, or you look at the gemstone, and you get it for your daughter, your granddaughters, at Christmas, or their birthday, or their confirmation, or their baptism, you know, tell them what a jewel that they are, that they were created for the Master's glory, to reflect His glory, and that He's a precious gem. And although they may not be perfectly cut, He's very well aware of the sanctification process and what it takes to go through to yield in this life. It's a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual journey of many, many facets of our personality and of our character to be made more into the likeness of Christ. So I encourage you to purchase the Cross of Light Diamond or the Cross of Light Gemstone, and you can get different materials that can go with it for ceremonies or for cards, or create your own and send us your video, and we would love to put it on our website, because it's the most meaningful thing to us, that it means something to you. And when we were given this design, we knew that this is especially awesome to glorify God, because it is so meaningful when we look at our diamond and we know, I'm going to get through this with God. Because marriage is sometimes more like a funeral. You learn to die, and you have to be reminded that we have to continually die and pick up our cross every day. But it's worth it, because we're united to our spouse like we're united to Christ, and He died for us. He proved that through action. So it's just a reminder about all the sacrifice that Christians do for Christ, for one another, to show love. So I pray that it's very meaningful to you as it is for us. And you know, I'm a licensed minister, and our family's been working in Africa for over 20 years, and we really wanted to have this diamond and these gemstones be meaningful to help the world in more than you know, just making profit. And really our heart's desire and our family mission is to give back. We're in love with Africa, but more so our whole family tradition has always been to help the less fortunate and the children. And so we created a foundation called the Cross of Light Diamond Foundation, and we have several projects going on, and we would love to have you be a part of that. But just know that when you do purchase these, that most of the proceeds do go toward all these projects, and I personally do go there and get to participate. And so it's just an honor and a blessing, and it's just a passion in our life to do this, and I hope that you find meaning in it. So God bless you, and hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.